Aryna Sabalenka wins. She wins her fourth round match against Mertens at Wimbledon on center court. And yeah, Aryna Sabalenka played very well today. She was very powerful. She showed off the best parts of her game today. Not just her power, like I mentioned, her serve was working quite well. She only had 6 aces, but she had 61% first serve percentage, 84%, on first serves. Her second serve did not work well, though. That was one thing I noticed. If she hit her first serve, she was most likely going to win the point. If she didn't hit her first serve, then that's when she got into a bit of trouble with those long rallies that Mertens hit her on. But yeah, serving was quite well. I thought some of her return backhands were extraordinary, painted right on the chalk every time. It was truly special, and you got to see the full array of what the number one women's player in the world is able to do. So you got to give her major respects for that. And Sabalenka just moves on. There were conversations coming into Wimbledon, of course, where it's like, how long will it take a player like Sabalenka to forget what happened at Roland Garros, to forget the pain that happened being up a set and being the heavy favorite to win going in, along with Swiatek, of course, because she had won 4 of them, but being a person who's like, she should win, being up a set in the final and still losing that match against Coco Gauff, saying what she said, like I mentioned earlier, and it happening with Coco Gauff, a person who she had blown a set-to-love lead in a Grand Slam final before the 2023 U.S. Open. How was she going to respond from that? There were question marks, and she's responded brilliantly. It doesn't seem like it's affected her. The same question I had with Jannik Sinner. Is he going to be able to just get over that? Clearly he has, and clearly she has as well, Aryna Sabalenka, and she is playing phenomenally right now. She is as good as you can possibly get. You know, not perfect, of course. She did break Mertens' serve early in the match, but then got broken right back. But then broke her to win the first set, 6-4, which was very impressive. Mertens only had 2 breakpoint opportunities, and both times she broke Sabalenka. So Sabalenka didn't save any breakpoints in this match, but Mertens did save 5 breakpoints that Sabalenka had on her racket. The tie break was a bit interesting in the second game just because when tie breaks usually happen, both players drop their game a little bit. I think part of it has to do with the lack of ability to get comfortable. You only serve, twice at the same time for 2 points at once. I think you don't have the ability to get as comfortable with your serve, which is what makes tie breaks interesting, of course. But both players' games started to falter a little bit until Sabalenka, just wheeled through with another impressive backhand return and just some great serving as well to win the game 6-4, with the match, 6-4, 7-6. And she is on to the quarterfinals where she will play a German, Laura Singmund. Yeah. So, yep, let's see what happens there. Sabalenka's favorite again. I mean, the only people who you really start to think is Swiatek at this point, with all the heavy hitters being out. I am not too... Let me check what's with the rest of the Wimbledon draw. Andreeva still in it. Andreeva and Navarro play tomorrow. That'll be a really good match. I'll definitely be watching that. So Andreeva and Navarro, I don't know who's going to win that one, but that'll be interesting for sure. And those are the two, Andreeva and Navarro, the winner of that. They're in conversation, obviously with Pegula being out and Gauff being out and Swiatek being out. Not Swiatek, Qinwen Zheng being out, and Jasmine Paolini as well being out. I think that raises a lot of question marks for the rest of the draw. Yeah, Jasmine Paolini lost in the second round. But you think that the only person who should have any chance to beat Sabalenka is Iga and the winner of Andreeva and Navarro. So it's a very small circle. It's a very small set of players who you think have any real shot of beating Sabalenka. If any of the other players do, it is a dramatic upset, and it's something that shouldn't happen, basically. And so she's in the driving seat. She's in full gear. She holds all the cards. She has all the control for the rest of Wimbledon. And yeah, this would mean a lot because for many of you know, Sabalenka hasn't played in 2 of the last 3 Wimbledons, whether it's due to injuries or personal reasons. And Wimbledon is the most special tournament that exists in tennis. So not being able to play in Wimbledon twice hurts a lot. So this will do great wonders for her to be able to play and win Wimbledon potentially. And it'll do an insane amount to her ranking points, because ranking points are kind of funny where if you win a tournament, the next year, you're not playing to win any more ranking points. You're just playing to not lose any ranking points. Alcaraz has to win Wimbledon again just to not lose the 2,000 points that he gained. He won't lose all 2,000, but lose 1,400, 1,500, 1,200, whatever, however much it is. For Jannik Sinner, for instance, who's the #1 player in the world by quite a margin still, even after being suspended for 3 months, if he just makes it to the final of Wimbledon, he's gained points. Alcaraz can't gain points. So it's kind of interesting how that works. So this will do insane measures for Sabalenka's ranking points because she is so far ahead of everybody in terms of ranking points with all the finals that she makes. Like I said, there's a huge reward in just being a great, consistent overall player. So Sabalenka has 11,640 points. The next closest is Coco with 7,899, and I don't even think that's live. That's not even a live ranking because Coco lost in the first round. So Sabalenka currently has 12,070. Coco Gauff is 4,500 points behind at 7,669. She lost 230 points from losing in the first round here at Wimbledon. So Sabalenka is way ahead of the pack. It's actually crazy. Iga's going to go up as well. She's going to go all the way up to 4 after this because she was 8 before this. So Iga's going to go up to 4, which is interesting. Qinwen Zheng's going to go down. Yeah, a lot of things are going to happen with the rankings just because of all the upsets that have happened here. But this will do insane measures for Sabalenka in terms of ranking points. She'll also be able to be a champion at 3 different slams. Should have been at 4 if she had won the French, but we'll leave that alone. At 3 different slams, Australia, the US, and now Wimbledon. If she wins, like I said, I'm speaking way ahead of myself. But that's what she's vying for, and that's what I believe that she can get and potentially will get because she is such a fun watch for me. I just enjoy watching her so much because you don't see players like her too often on the women's side. And yeah, let's see what happens against Singmon in the round of 16. And I got Sabalenka winning that one handily, but maybe Singmon could pull a test. Who knows? We'll see. Stay tuned.